So I will share my screen.
Yeah, please do that. Yes. Hey, Savinay. Hey, Ananda. Please let me know if you can hear me. Please make it full screen. Otherwise, it looks fine.
Yeah, I will make it full screen.
The first screen, the first one. This is the first slide.
Yeah, this is the first slide. This is the title slide.
Okay, so let's make easily access patents. Only that much should be available. And then once we go live, yeah, this is perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's stay here. I'll invite some more. Hopefully, there are some more participants who will join. And then we'll go live in about 1 minute from now. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, perfect. So maybe you'll have a glass of water or something, and then we'll.
Yes, I will just take
Yeah,
a
so
glass
you
of
can
water.
keep the video off for then till then, and then we'll begin in, let's say, 1 minute from now. Keep the slide on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. So Dinesh, good evening. Ananda, good evening. Savina, good evening. Please let me know if you can hear me. Just put in the chat box if you can hear me. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Thank you. So Ananda and Savina, I hope you're joining for the first time with me. I've never seen you in my previous sessions. Just type FT if you have joined for the first time. We'll just begin in about 1 minute from now. So stay connected. Thank you so much. I'm just doing the backend check and we'll go live in about 1 minute from now. Thank you. All right, so the time is 6:30 and welcome all of you for this session. We'll have some more participants joining in on the go, so that's okay. And those of you who are joining for the first time, I welcome you to this session. These sessions happen every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. India time. And we learn on a variety of topics related to pharmaceutical careers, medical writing, and much more, right? So today's session is all about understanding patents. Patents are definitely needed in every kind of research, not just in pharmaceutical, biomedical, and engineering, and all kind of research. We need patents. We need to understand patents. And our expert is Samir. Samir, if you could switch on the video for a couple of seconds from now. And maybe you stop sharing the screen. Let's have a screen sharing later on. Samir, if you're there, could you just switch on the video? So I'm just waiting for Samir to join in. Just give us 1 or 2 seconds from now. Hopefully he's joined. Samir, if you're facing any difficulty, just let me know. All right, so Samir is here. All right, thank you so much, Samir, for.
I was having some difficulties on audio, but I think it looks like
That's okay. That's okay. So with me is Samir. Samir, he has done his BTech in chemical engineering. He is the founder of Innokrish Technologies, and Samir has done a lot of work in the patent analytics and innovation solutions. He has created a solution through which we can, search patents very easily. And this entire solution is based on AI technologies. Samir comes with more than 2 decades of experience. He has worked in various companies that includes even the pharmaceutical FMCG, Procter and Gamble, Creax, India, and all of these companies. And when I was working in my corporate journey, I met Samir, and then that is when we got connected, and we have been, connected for a long time, maybe around 15 years, I think, Samir. It's been almost 15 years we are connected, and
Yes.
when I was interacting with him, I requested him to have a session on patent search because I understand most of the researchers find it difficult to search patent easily. And that is when Samir suggested that he has found a solution through his own company, which can help us to find patent very easily. So welcome, Samir. Thank you so much for agreeing to be part of this entire session. And I welcome you again. And hopefully we'll learn a lot of things together. On the go, participants will join. We are also on live. So on YouTube, there are participants who are watching us on YouTube as well. After the session, we'll take up some questions and we'll try to answer them. And if there is too much of a demand on further sessions, we'll also organize further sessions. So welcome, Samir. Thank you so much. You can unmute and get started from here.
Yeah. Manoj, thanks a lot for inviting me.
Pleasure.
It's been, wonderful. I keep seeing your initiatives, like a lot of your pro bono initiatives, helping the community, which is really wonderful. Really inspirational. The way you, manage these events since the COVID times. So, without any further delay, I will. First, before doing that, just introduce, what I'm going to talk today, and what is it that the audience can expect in the next about 40 minutes, I would say, and then maybe about 10, 20 minutes we can keep for questions, and then weekend is on us, Saturday evening, time to relax and go wherever we want. So I hope it's going to be interesting, sharing my experience. So as I understand, because every presentation is going to be unique in the sense that it's going to be, just give me 1 second, one of the participants. So this is also hosted on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it is on YouTube, yes.
Okay, so he has joined from the event, which is taking me to a YouTube live stream. Okay, so I will just message
That's
him.
perfectly fine. So he can join from YouTube if he's facing difficulty on Zoom. Zoom
Sure.
is for those who want to interact with us and take a Q&A ahead, like they can ask questions live and we can answer, right? YouTube does not provide such functionalities. So that's the reason we do host it on Zoom and then make it live on YouTube. But if there are many participants who are still watching us on YouTube, and there'll be many more who will be joining later on as well. Yeah.
Okay. So let's start. So if you see my background, no, you can see a graphic in the background. You can see these lot of objects floating around. The reason I have put that image in the background is to essentially also graphically tell you, that patent search and analysis has been a very complex topic, which required, in fact, a professionals. I was a professional doing that patent search for about 15 years. Now, thanks to AI, it's almost like what you see here, right? It's floating around. So the idea is to make it, to make it so easy that you can just go and grab it. So that's the intent, to give more and more easy access to patents, almost to the level of, we can call it as democratizing patent access. Innokrish is the company, and PatentKrish is the solution, which we are going to briefly look at in this presentation. So we will, briefly look at, we will just try to understand. Again, I'm sure there are scientists, medical, professionals. There are scientific writers, IP professionals. This is not a rocket science that I'm going to show you that what is research and innovation. We all know this. This is pretty obvious. I'm just trying to restate some of these. Pardon me if I'm going to a very basic level, but sometimes it's very interesting to revisit some of these definitions, right? Research, just to draw the distinction between research and innovation. Uh, Innovation and research, you might say, they're very close. They're very closely linked to each other. What is the difference? They might seem very similar. Innovation is typically, when you're talking about generating some value, whether it is commercial value or, uh, sometimes it's not necessarily always commercial value, but generating some value in the eyes of the end users or the customers. Whereas research is more about, even there you're generating some value, but these are really open-ended questions that, you're trying to frame and you're trying to answer them. Now, the key thing to understand here is what is the role of knowledge in both research and innovation. So knowledge is, it's about how, why, and what. It's about the curiosity to know about things. That is what knowledge is about. And it's very, very critical because these are the building blocks of innovation and uh, research and whatever scientific discoveries that you want to do. How is this acquired? There are multiple ways. You could just, the way, I am talking, you're listening to it, and you might ask a question, I am listening to it. So that's one way. Then writing, printing, and also there is, somebody in one of the recent, the printing is one, digital is the latest one. Somebody pointed to me, it's not just these, but there's also you touch things, you see, you smell, you listen to things, and then you also taste things. So all our senses, that's why these are called as, sensory organs which help us gain knowledge. Now, just zooming into digital knowledge. So we just saw research, innovation, and the importance of knowledge, right? And how is this knowledge acquired? If we just keep the oral and the print apart for time being, and just focus on the digital knowledge, if we just look at the digital knowledge, that is where I'm sure we all do this, irrespective of, what is our profession. We would be doing some kind of, very at a very basic level, even Google search, or we could be doing a more in-depth literature search, patent search, and review. And then we read those articles or patents and digest that information. Right, that is what we keep doing. Now, a lot of researchers spend significant time in this doing the search and review. I would not say it's a waste of time, but if you it's not really your core activity. Sometimes you tend to get a lot of noise in the process of doing this search, which can cause a lot of anxiety, frustration, waste of time. So now, with this background, I hope this background of knowledge, as a building block for research and innovation, artificial intelligence is the new kid in the block. I mean, I don't have to talk about the impact that AI has had on our lives, like the ChatGPT or Bard or Gemini. The way they have, shaped our lives in the last 1 or 2 years. I don't have to explain it. I'm sure all of you know how it's made a tremendous impact. So what does it do? It acts as a co-pilot, as a guide. It saves a lot of time and effort. It simplifies and enhances knowledge acquisition. But there is a problem here. The problem is, I'm sure you're aware that artificial intelligence, it comes with a lot of benefits, but also some drawbacks, which is, in fact, if you see one of the examples, leading examples, the chat GPT, it gives a clear disclaimer that, these are sometimes there are factually inaccurate answers. So be aware of that, so that is one of the big challenges that we are facing today in terms of artificial intelligence. So is there a solution? That is where I'm, introducing Patent Krish as a solution which gives you the benefit of artificial intelligence, but it doesn't hallucinate, and it gives you um, answers which are reliable, which you can use it in your research, in your whatever scientific studies that you are doing. So it's as simple as you ask a question and you get an answer. Uh, the fundamental difference between this and, let's say, a chat GPT is, behind this patent Krish, there is a database, and the patent Krish solution relies on that database, and it gives you data which we will see in a moment, which is actually traceable, which we can see for every answer that comes up from the chatbot. You can actually see what is the data based on which those answers have come up. So, in essentially, researchers, would basically spend less and less time on search and more on their research and innovation. Right? So now I will, without any delay, I will jump to the solution. Manoj, will have the questions at the end, right?
Yes, Samir, we'll have the questions at the end. Yes.
So I will time it accordingly.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So, okay, just 1 second. My colleague who wants to join is asking me, can you send me a Zoom link? I will just send him a Zoom link. I'm sorry, I'll just. Okay. Basically, let me just start with one question. Since I understand, Manoj, there is a predominantly pharma-related audience, right?
Yes, so predominantly farmer related, but on YouTube there can be others also who are watching us.
Okay. Perfect.
So there can be medicos, researchers who might be watching us there.
Okay. Sure. So let me just take a very simple example. I will just say how to measure, let's say, blood glucose. Okay, it's very broad kind of question that I'm asking. How to measure blood glucose without, let's say, pricking finger. Usually, these negative connotations, or where you're inserting a knot or something which is going against, those are a little tricky, based on my experience. So, pricking finger. So this is where the solution can be of big help. So let's see how it's going to. It's going to take a little time because the background processing that's happening involves a lot of GPU crunching, a lot of data crunching. So just let's give it a yeah. Now I will explain the results. And sorry, I would not say results. These are answers basically. Okay, answers, and then also there are some results. So if you see the red one, this icon here, the red icon is basically the what I am asking. This is me, and this is the chat. The AI which is giving the answer based on the patent provided patent abstract. So this is very important to note here, because this is not just a a data that is coming from unknown sources or from here and there. It's based on actual patent data. There are multiple methods for measuring blood glucose without pricking finger. So it's given us all those methods, which are basically, you're using, you know, where you're not taking a blood sample and you are, so basically all these are non-invasive. Right? This can be very challenging to get. Just imagine you're trying to enter a new field and you're not aware of all the, I would say, the terminologies that are industry keywords or industry terminologies that are, considered as standard. And more so in the patent world, it's a completely different kind of situation where even when you have these industry standard, terminologies, patent drafters tend to create their own terminologies, and that is when the challenge becomes, where you struggle to build that, a lot of keywords and to basically come up with important results. So here we have about 11 results. These technologies offer various non-invasive, and if you see there is a line here. So below the line, I have these patents. So based on these patents, you can see the answers that have been arrived at. So these are the about, I think, 15 or 20 patents must be here. 11 patents are here. So based on these 11 patents, those these answers have come up. Okay. So this is one way of doing this Q&A sessions where you're asking it a question and it's giving you an answer. Probably this is, I have not seen any solution like this anywhere in the world which can go to a patent database and get you this kind of granularity in terms of the answers. And again, sorry for the repetition, but which is backed by the actual patent data. So just for your, I will just click on the one of the patent links. It will take me to the actual patent record. This is not my. I have purchased data from this organization. So this is how that particular patent would look like, and then you would just go to this patent and do a deep dive into that. So this is like an entry point for you to look at what are the various records available, and then you go there and basically have a look at it. Okay, so what I will do is we can have a look at a few more interesting examples where this can really, really, be like the solution can really have a go at some very complex solutions. But I will just see quickly, maybe take about, we are now at about 6:50, take about 5 minutes to quickly give you an overview of innovation, and then, then we can jump into a few more examples. I hope that's okay, Manoj.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
Okay, thanks. So
we can complete the slides first, and then we can give them a demo.
Yeah,
and then
sure.
Post that we can have a Q&A.
Absolutely, yeah. So I have a couple of more, interesting, especially from a pharma or a biology kind of examples. But just to, quickly, we have some. Right? Yeah, innovation. It's very obvious. I'll just run through this. In any innovation process, you need creativity. That is what you do, and then you build, and then you implement your whatever solution that you arrived at. And knowledge again remains a key. But defining the problem is very important. In any innovation process, because they say there is a very famous saying that a problem that is correctly defined is probably 80% of your problem is solved, right? So that is what I'm trying to show here. whether it's a product or a process. That is what you can do. Uh, Scientific knowledge, again, I have covered this. Uh, so all these are basically various sources of obtaining the scientific knowledge. So defining problem, is so important. This is almost on a lighter note. If you have lost car keys in the shadows of shadows of a car, but looking for it somewhere else, because there is enough light that side. I mean, that is so foolish, right? I mean, uh, so and many times we mistake symptoms for a problem. Identifying the right problem could mean solving. It means almost your problem is solved. As against identifying the wrong problem, it's like because you're all in the medical pharma, identifying the wrong, based on the symptom, identifying the wrong root cause could mean life and death, right? It's that critical there. So it's pretty, very, I would say even very dangerous in a pharma situation where it needs to be correctly identified and diagnosed, and then the correct treatment given. So process of creating something new and useful, divergent process to uh, so creativity is generating a lot of ideas. But at the same time, you need to have quality plus quantity. It's not just quality. It has to be both quality and numbers. And this is where artificial intelligence, apart from trills and other well-known methods, can act as a boost for your creativity. As I said, in that innovation process, your creativity is one of your key steps. Because we are going to look at one case study to see from a patent search perspective how we can influence your innovation process through the creativity. Trills, it's a very well-known problem-solving technique. I will not go into detail here. But today, since the flavor of the season, and it's not just season, but it's going to stay for some time, which is artificial intelligence. Um, and next is building. So we have create, build, and then you have building is obviously convergence. So you have a lot of ideas. Then you, based on the viability, you start converging based on commercial, legal, manufacturing, etc., etc. You start converging on novel solutions, and then even in implementing, you are going to have some divergence, but then you start converging into what is it that you want to really go and sell in the market. Now, coming to a case study, very simple case study. It's about you want to define, you want to, the case study is about an efficient refrigerator, right? You want to have, which gives you a lot of cooling power, but which consumes very less energy. There is continuous power, when there is no continuous power supply. So what would you do is first you would go and, if you're assigned the stars, you would go and do a scientific survey. You do a search, analysis, journals, probably patents, because this is more of something which has got commercial value. So typically you go into a patent database and understand, or even you would go to a chat GPT and understand what is the current state of affairs. How does it look like? What are the technologies? Uh, our problem is that works when there is no continuous power supply, right? These days, I'm not seeing that situation, but imagine about 20 years back, 30 years back when we were kids, when I was a kid, I would see a lot of power going on and off, So how would a refrigerator, so what is the problem, if we were to just look at the refrigerator, so what does a refrigerator do? It cools, right? How to cool food substances in enclosed space, but consuming minimum energy, right? If we are to just define the problem in this manner, or is there something else that we're missing? Actually, the problem is how to preserve food at home, consuming the least energy, right? If you look at it, your cooling that you are providing to food is to preserve it. So to preserve food could be your more critical problem to be solved than necessarily cooling, because cooling is one means of preserving food, but there could be multiple means of preserving food. If you're starting on a like a blue ocean strategy where you're trying to identify new areas to enter, um, then that could be one way of defining your problem. It's how to maintain temperature of food so that they are not spoiled but consumes least energy. So this can help us generate ideas to solve this problem. So you can use Chat GPT, you can use Patent Krish. We'll try to use Patent Krish and how to maintain temperature of food so that they're not spoiled but consume least energy. Once you identify and then you build solution, then you use cost benefit approach. Um, Again, I'm not sharing something which is absolutely new here. This is all very well known innovation process. I'm just trying to reiterate and try to refresh our collective memories. Um, this is what we do. So how to maintain? So we started with how to maintain temperature of food so that they're not spoiled. Initially, we started from cooling to maintaining temperature of food so that they're not spoiled. This is what we could do. Okay, so if I were to just pick up this as a as a as a question and just type it here, uh, how to maintain temperature of food so that they are not spoiled. I hope spelling is spoiled, but consume least energy. So if I were to just ask this question, um, then let's see, because it's a pretty open-ended question. So that was the PowerPoint presentation. So now we are, the idea was to just give you a. So based on, again, if you see here, based on the patents provided. So this is very focused on the patents that sits in the in the database. About 25 million patents for which this data has been generated. A variety of methods are suggested. So I'll just allow the users to just absorb this to maintain the temperature of foods with the aim of preserving and minimizing spoilage and potentially reducing energy consumption. So obviously, rapid cooling and control temperature. That's very obvious, right? So you want to maintain by cooling. Um, and there are, surprisingly packaging, using packaging, different ways of packaging could basically preserve the food. Thermal processing, that's another way, to basically, you know, preserve the food. And also there is, and I think I am seeing some atmosphere. So basically, this is a new thing, So if you look at this, if somebody has not imagined or if they are not aware, let's say, I mean, again, it's also a very well-known technique. These days, I am seeing a lot of application of this in the retail, especially in the food supply chain, where to preserve the food for a longer time, especially the vegetables, to control atmosphere and pressure. So there could be even more, I can just ask it to get me a few more in this. So that way, I'm not just restricting myself just to cooling, I'm starting at a much broader plate. And then I can, for example, look at this control atmosphere and pressure and maybe, use this, use control atmosphere and pressure to preserve food. So I'm just focusing on that now. So when I do this, now I'm entering a completely different new trajectory. So this could be purely using atmosphere and pressure, or it could be multiple. It could be using temperature as well as pressure, as well as some inert materials which can save it. There could be many more methods which are used. So someone who is entering, like a not a what we call as green field, as a green field, not as a brown field, but as a green field, who wants to, let's say for a startup, who has an idea that, where there are a lot of power shortage, or in a underdeveloped country like, African nations or in Southeast nations. So they could use these patents and understand how they are, how the technology is built, and then go from there. So the idea is basically you can use the power of artificial intelligence to quickly approach this and see what are the breadth of options that are available before you go deeper into a particular technology. Okay, so that is what I wanted to uh, share in terms of the case study. And let me see if I have anything else in terms of my, yeah. So with that, I will go to some examples related to pharma. Already we have seen one related to the blood glucose measuring. We could see those non-invasive techniques which came up. Now I'm just picking up. I just picked these from the. I think from the I have this dictionary, for chemistry, and there is one on biology. I randomly picked up some acronyms. Let's see, what they, and these are related to biology. So basically, it's related to chemistry, biology, and so BDNF. Like, I don't know what is. I mean, I just picked it up. So let's see, BDNF. Explain BDNF. I'm just asking it to explain me what is BDNF. Manoj, we are good on time so far, right?
Yes, yes, definitely. We have.
I will just take another 5 minutes and then we'll open up for questions.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah. So if we see this, it's okay. Let me see. Biology, right? So brain-derived BDNF, right? BDNF, yeah. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor. So something related. So I think there are some. I think some patents related to using this. It's a protein, basically. It's a protein. So preventive. So whatever, they are using that for different purposes. Treatment of BDNF related disorders. So I'm just, you can see the. I'll just pause here so that the audience see. The answers that have come up from the Innokrish. Okay. So then what I'll do is I will just go down and I'll show you these are the patent results. Is there some people who have put chat? Is there something I need to do? People, should we look at the chat messages later on?
We'll do it later on after
okay.
this.
Yeah, that's fine. I will just close the chat. Okay. So this is one way. I mean, I will just compare this with, let's say there is if you do a Google patent, it will probably give you, because it's just a keyword based, engine. It is not going to, so BDNF could be so many things, So based on the context, this artificial intelligence is going to give you some results, some answers, in fact. Whereas keyword-based search engines, which we typically have been using for the last 25 years at least, since Google came into existence. So keyword just restricts to that particular word. If it is a little bit here and there, then you are not going to get it. And if the word BDNF means multiple things, then it will give you multiple answers. So if you are not interested in something which is in let's say in IT or in some hardware or something which is not related to your case, then you are going to basically have a tough time removing all those unwanted stuff and just sticking to what what is of interest to you. So that is where AI can basically help you focus on this. Let me take one more simple example. CRP, explain CRP. Yeah. Or let's go to this. Explain. Well, let's try explain CRP. Explain CRP. Yeah. So I think CRP is I think that is also a protein. C-reactive protein is mentioned in several patents as an important biological marker. So you can see what is it. Uh, so overall, it's a clinically relevant. So again, what are the patents related to this? Again, I'm not an expert or nowhere near expert. I mean, I barely understand what is this. Uh, so basically, this is how it can. Now, what else can be done in terms of using this? I can use it, for example, to generate ideas for solving a problem. For example, let's say, see, for example, since we have predominantly a pharma kind of background, I will tell you a practical example. I'm just, uh, you can understand, you can relate to this because it's oral care composition. Um, List oral care compositions that have silica particles with particle size less than 5 micron, right? So first, let me hit the search button. It's oral compositions with containing silica, and I've given the particle size less than 5 micron. Now this is a very pretty complex because I can just put, because that 5 micron people might have we'll see that. So there are some. So as you can see here, I gave that symbol, right? So here it is between 0.25 to 5. That has to come. So now this is very challenging because people can use a lesser than symbol, or they might just give a range, because all that, or they can just say less than about 5 microns. So all these are important, and they are using even percentile here. See, diameter being 5 micrometers, right? Micron is micrometer, right? Basically. So all these permutation and combination, it is so challenging to do this in real world. That has been. I'm sure you will agree with this. That is where this can kind of um, it would make it very simple, but at the same time get you the essence of it. I want it lesser than 5 micron. It is getting me that, right? So sometimes, say, if you see here in this case, there is a 4 to 25 micron, 4 to 25 micron, and there is dentifrice formulation. Dentifrice is also related to some oral care, right? And it is 4 to 25 micrometer. So I mean, I can imagine it can go on and on. So again, there is a comma in between, and then there is 25 to 30, 25 to 50. So all these are automatically picked up, and that is the beauty of, I would say, that is the magic of AI, and that is what Patent Krish intends to get us the best of AI, and also the reliability of having a database which is hand curated, which is curated by our organization, which gives a very validated database. Okay. So that is another example I have. And with that, I think there are a few more things, but that's going to take a lot more time. So I will just pause it here, and I'm happy to, we are about 7:10 here, and I'm happy to take any questions. And if I can, if it is in my purview, if I'm not an expert, I'm just learning new skills and trying to build them, I'll be happy to answer them. Manoj, over to you.
Perfect.
How do you want to?
Thank you so much, Samir, for providing the demo of Patent I think it's a very niche software where we get distraction-free searches rather than going to Google and getting all the random searches. When by doing a search on Patent the search can be more niche, and we can get a very validated data, very curated data for our searches, and that is how it will help. But I was just curious to know how it is different from ChatGPT enabled search. So let's say if user signs up ChatGPT or Gemini or any other AI tool, how different it is from those softwares.
Yeah, I don't know if video is. I will just run this.
Yeah.
In fact, I have done a comparison with ChatGPT. Right? What is the
how different it is? How unique?
How different it is? I'm typing the same question. In fact, this is this Dyson. If you know the Dyson, this thing, Dyson basically has that bagless vacuum cleaner. So I have put that as a problem, and the same problem I have put it in the ChatGPT. Left side, what you see is your ChatGPT. Right side is the Innokrish. Okay.
All right. Can we increase the window size a little bit better?
Yeah, sure. I'll do that.
Visibility is improved.
I'll do it full screen.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
So you can see you are getting. So I'm asking it. I'm giving it a problem. The problem is, there is a particular vacuum cleaner which is cyclone based, but how to make it even more better. So when I give that problem, so it is giving me solutions. And then we'll see. Let both of them load completely, and then I'll show you what is the difference. Okay, I'll just pull this here.
Okay.
And so as you can see, both of them have come up. So as you can see that, if you see, compare both of them, the solution that is provided by ChatGPT, for example, in this case, is very abstract. It's not something actionable. For an engineer who is working on a vacuum cleaner, he needs something which can be actually worked out. Sometimes I also realized that ChatGPT can be, it's based on LLM, right? So it can give you a concocted kind of answer, which means it will create an answer because I've asked it. It has to give an answer. It cannot give a zero. It will create an answer and give you. Whereas here in ChatGPT, it is giving me those actionable, actual patent-based answers, which I can actually then I can refer to that patent and actually go and use it as an idea for my problem solving. Whereas here, I can use it, but it's like giving me broad ideas. Whether these are workable, not workable, I don't know. I mean, it can be, sometimes it might be going against the nature. I don't know. I mean, there is a lot of, I would say, in fact, if you see, there is a small disclaimer given by ChatGPT. ChatGPT can make mistakes. So please consider checking important information. So, which means basically you'll have to be very, very careful when you're using ChatGPT, especially if you're going to make some decisions, right? Or if you're going to use it as an idea generation tool or for problem solving, then that is where the Innokrish can give you, as we always say, data-driven decision making, data-driven problem solving.
Absolutely. And one more point worth noting here would be, if a no voice is doing a search on ChatGPT, he may not be able to distinguish, he or she may not be able to distinguish what is right and what is wrong, unless that person knows the subject, right? And, he cannot totally rely on this search data that ChatGPT gives. But when it comes to Innokrish, probably your data is much more validated and authentic in that terms, and a user can rely on that data, right? Can we say that?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that is what it is, because you can see that even when I asked both ChatGPT and Innokrish, I gave it a problem that can you solve this problem, and it gave us these ideas, right? When it gave these ideas, if you see, even just in that idea itself, it was giving a reference to a patent in patent creation. So when it is giving a reference to a patent, so that patent is written by an inventor. How good or bad that patent is, that's a different issue. Quality of
Right.
patent can be a subject matter of discussion, but that is not something that I have created. But versus
Absolutely.
in Chat GPT, where it's a sea, you don't know from where it has come, what is it. It could be good, it could be outrightly, you can say, as you also mentioned, a very name user might take it as a gospel. This is the gospel truth. So that can be pretty scary actually, because if you think that whatever is coming out of Chat GPT, if I'm not careful, then it can be pretty but pretty scary actually.
Absolutely. Yeah. Perfect. I think you explained it well. Thank you so much. All right. So, participants, if you have any specific question, please feel free to ask. That is what these sessions are for, to help you understand more about whatever we do now, to improve your learnings. If you have any questions, there are two ways you can ask the questions. One is, of course, you can raise the virtual hand. I'll unmute you. You ask the question directly to Samir. Just in case you are a shy person, you don't want to ask the question yourself, then you can just type in and read it for Samir, and he'll answer the question. All
Yeah,
right.
I think Naveen Kumar has a question. If you can, Manoj, if you can take this one.
All right.
Uh, how advanced is this patent creation when compared to Google patents? Because Google patent also gives the list of patents. I have been working on this for a pretty long time. I think last 6 months I've been doing that. It's a very good question. I will just demonstrate to the user who had asked this. So let's go to patents.google.com, and I will just show that let's say I want to understand Alexa. This is a very unique way of when I type Alexa, we all know Alexa is what we talk to a device and it gives you an answer, right? I can do that in Google patent as well, right? Right. So if you see here, when I'm typing Alexa, it is giving me, of course, Amazon Alexa. So wherever that word Alexa is there, it's going to come up, obvious.
Absolutely.
And it's giving me something which is unrelated, which is okay. Once in a while, you still get them, and actually quite a few actually highly sensitive biomarker panels. I don't know. These are not related to Alexa at all. But there are a few where the word, if you see, it's in bold font, Alexa,
Yeah.
Alexa. So this has come. Now let's go back to um, our solution, and let's type the same thing. I'm just asking it, explain Alexa. I can even put just Alexa. That is also fine. Just asking it, Alexa. So
Can you
obviously,
please increase the window screen size so that
yes, I
the
will do
results are
that.
clearly visible. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Is the font okay? I mean,
I
the
think
font size?
participants, please confirm if you are able to read it. I mean, I can read it, no problem.
Okay.
But then,
So, so if you see now, even this patent creation is giving me using only the patent resource provided in there is no specific information about Alexa. Okay.
yeah,
But the patent resource provided relates to various patents concerning voice assistant. So it basically is able to distinguish that Alexa is about a voice controlled personal, uh, you know, assistant basically. Now, if you see here, these patents don't have the word Alexa. But even then, because these are related to, some kind of artificial intelligence, digital agent, or personal assistant, voice assistant, the word Alexa is not there. But even then, it is coming up. So that is how I can clearly show you the difference between this and Google. Google is no doubt, uh, Google patent has no doubt a wonderful repository, but Its advantage is it is very specific. You give a particular keyword, it will give you results. Whereas if I want to understand, because the word Alexa, why these results have come up is, if you look at the Alexa, what Patent Krish has done is, it has, so I'm just asking it, explain Alexa. So what it is doing is, all the embedded technologies in that. Alexa has that voice processing, artificial intelligence, cloud, then again, it gives you voice back. All those things are embedded in this. Now, if I were to define this, then it will become one page of search strategy, where I'll put all those keywords and put, it's going to become, one research project in itself. That is where this can be, it can make life so simple. I'll make it
Absolutely.
even more simple. Explain Alexa, or let's say, Alexa for, let's say, toothbrush. We use Alexa for controlling TVs and etc. Now, can I use it for toothbrush? Right? Let's see what comes up. So I'm combining two concepts here. So forget keywords. I am getting into the unthinkable about it. I am putting in two concepts. Alexa is one concept, and my toothbrush is another concept. Right? So what am I getting? So I'm getting voice assistant in an electric toothbrush. Now it is so difficult to get these patents, right? Because these don't have necessarily the word Alexa in them. I'll have to, think through and imagine all those keywords or classification codes to get them. Instead of that, I'm just using Alexa and toothbrush, and I'm getting the results. And similarly, if you see here, I could even see one where there was intelligent oral care something, right? Intelligent oral cleaning tool. So why is it saying intelligent? There is a voice recognition. There is, all these aspects are embedded in this. So that is the beauty of using this. If I were to put the same thing in I might get a few results, because even Google these days has made some advances, but it's still, kind of wishy-washy. It might give you some results, it may not. It's a little, if I just put Alexa toothbrush, so it is giving me smart toothbrush. That's good. But second one is absolutely out of the, and the third one is also nothing, antibody, probably pharma related. So it's just gone haywire. So you can see here, how different it is from the existing. So this is what it is. I hope that answers question by Naveen Kumar. And if you see anybody else.
Yeah, perfect. Naveen, please confirm if we answered, Samir answered your question. Give a thumbs up if you are here. Yeah, Naveen is here. Oh, all right. Hopefully we answered it. All right. Any other questions, participants? Please ask. If you have any specific thought in mind and you want that to be demonstrated here live, you can ask that also, and Samir will definitely try to help you out with that. And few
Yeah,
other
he has.
questions I have in mind, I'll ask just in case participants don't ask. All right, great, Naveen. Thank you.
Here's the general questions. I think probably you can take this, sir. AI is affected pharma sector.
Yeah, so
You are a better person to answer this.
every
You're the last
sector
person to
is
comment on that.
every sector is in fact affected by AI, and I think millions of jobs are currently being lost to AI. And the key here is to learn AI. If you want yourself not to be replaced, then the key here is to learn AI. Because if you don't learn AI, somebody who has learned AI will replace you, right? So that's would be my answer. The objective is, focus on your area of expertise, learn AI in that area, and become irreplaceable by somebody who is not knowing AI. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for asking that, Sagar. Hopefully we answered that. Sir, the Patent Krish website is not working. It's showing error. I think Samir can take that.
Yeah, I think I'll check that because we are doing some upgrades on the website. So that's the reason I think it is probably not working. So,
And it is not open to public yet. I think.
yeah, it is not still open to public. So we are, I would not say in the stealth mode because we already filed a patent for some of the aspects of it. But we will definitely, one of the key aspects that we want to really make this is because Manoj, if you remember, initially you mentioned it's a niche sector.
Yeah.
But what we are trying to do it is to take it to a much bigger audience.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of people do not have because when I was working in Procter and Gamble, I was lucky to have access to some of these solutions, which cost about like 3-4 lakhs per license per year
Mm-hmm.
upwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're very niche and very complex tools, steep learning curve. But thanks to AI, that barrier has been busted, which means these like patent crash can be taken. In fact, we want to take it directly to the end user, scientists, researchers, pharmacists, those who have, those who are doing research, take it directly to them instead of selling it through B2B. Take it directly. So, to answer Naveen Kumar's question, it will be available. So watch out for the space. Patent Krish will soon be available. We are in the process of going for funding. Once that everything falls in place, we'll be open to the public at a very reasonable price.
Yeah.
It will not, maybe 1/10 of what you see the big players charge, but still getting you the results.
Absolutely. And Naveen, everything cannot be made free. It is very, very difficult to sustain for free. Even if you see Google, for example, Google does provide you the search option for free, but then Google earns through different other, ways, right? There are more than 30 plus platforms through which they earn. And, AdSense is the biggest platform through which they earn, right? They earn a lot of advertisements. And sustaining through free model does not work, and people don't pay respect for free sessions, right? Imagine this session, we charging some 100 rupees or something, or 200 rupees, there would have been so many people attending. But since we provide it for free, not many people would attend it, right? They don't value the free stuff. So definitely Samir is there, he's trying to make it much more affordable to public. And you may reach out to Samir later on. I'll provide with his LinkedIn profile link and also his email ID. If you want to access Patent Krish, please do write to him and he'll provide you an option to access Patent Krish. And this is again for everyone who has the same question in mind. If you want to use Patent Krish, write to Samir and get exclusive access for yourself. And you can tailor the research as per your niche area and get access to the exclusive patents. All right. So any other
In fact,
questions?
just to add one more point regarding the access, next week we are running a trial access for a very short period, 1 week. We are giving it to if people are interested, please reach out to my LinkedIn. You can message me, and for 1 week it will be absolutely free. And I've just shown you one module of this. There are two more modules which are even more powerful because just 1 hour session. There are two more to explore patents in much more detail and do a deep dive into the patents. And two more modules. Because of paucity of time, I will not be able to share that. But if you're interested in doing a beta trial for us, please reach out. We'll be happy to share the details. And for 1 week, you'll be able to go on the ride and just do whatever you want. No restrictions.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll do that. So anyways, I'll be sending an email with all the details about your LinkedIn profile link and also the email ID so they can reach out to you after that. All right. Any other questions, guys? Please let us know and we'll try to answer to the best of our knowledge. I'm just checking if there are some questions on YouTube. So far, no. All right. If there are no questions, no problem. There is one question I wanted to ask, but I think Naveen already asked it. So we want to provide this access to as many researchers as possible, and we want to save their time, right? So if you don't want to save your time, you want to go to Google and search and I get access to anything and everything, it is perfectly fine. But if you have time constraint, you want to save your time and search, get better results, then Innokrish is something that I would recommend personally to all of you. So go for it and write an email to Samir, connect with him on LinkedIn, and then you'll get access to Innokrish. All right. So any other questions, please do let us know. Anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I always say this in all the sessions. If you don't ask, the answer is always no, right? So if you want to get answers, you need to ask questions. And of course, write questions. That is more important. All right, no questions? All right, perfect. So thank you so much, Samir. We may stop sharing the screen for now. And all right. There is one question from Dinesh. Would you like to take it?
Yeah, please.
What is lens.org?
Lens.org is, you can hear me? I had muted myself, but you can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
So lens.org is basically, they, in fact, like Google Patent, they give access to those who are, so they have, basically it's a patent data provider. They give access to this data. So they also have a model where those who cannot afford it, they give, free of cost access. If you can convince them that, I cannot afford, to pay, and, they'll give you free of cost. Those who can afford, they charge them. And even for them, it's quite reasonable. But Lens again is like Google Patent. It's purely keyword based. So they did try something AI some 4 years back, but I think they didn't see much success. Predominantly, they are keyword based, patent, non-patent, like scientific journal. It's a very nice resource. You can go and sign in and access it. I use it as a backend. All my data comes from Lens.
All right. So you have integrated Lens along with the AI, right? So on top of AI, you have integrated Lens, which is definitely good. Thank you. All right. Any other questions, guys? Do let us know.
So you got this question from YouTube, right?
This is from Dinesh. He has asked on Zoom.
Okay.
YouTube, there are no questions so far. And in case anybody asks later on after the session, I'll compile that and.
Dinesh Sangule raised.
All right, Dinesh, you want to unmute and talk? Go for it.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Dinesh. I think you are getting muted and muted.
Yes, sir.
Dinesh,
I am audible.
Yeah, you're audible now. Go for it.
Good evening, sir. Thank you, sir, so much for providing such insightful information. Sir, my question is that, as I have
Can you
seen
please share your background? That just helps me to understand your from pharma background, or what is your background?
Yes, sir. Manoj sir known me very well. Sir, I
So,
have done
okay.
my.
Yes, so he has done his MPharm in pharmacology, which is again a pharmacy subject. And then currently he is a faculty at a pharmacy college. His specialization is into pharmaceutical research, specifically pharmacology. Yeah. Yes, Dinesh.
Go ahead.
Like, sir, my question is that we can completely rely on the data that we get through Lens or that, or we need to cross check from other sources while searching any patents.
Now, if I've understood your question, do I need to cross check? Cross check what?
Yes,
I mean,
the data we are getting from Lens or we need to cross check.
that is reliable. Lens is a very well-known company. The Lens is in existence for a very long time. You can go and see about Lens. If you're asking about reliability of Lens, right?
Yes, sir.
Lens as a data provider. Oh, that's a very well-known. It's as good as Google Patent, or even better than Google Patent in some aspects. because it gives you both patent and non-patent, and it's very well known. Lens is highly reliable source of data.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, perfect. So thank you so much, Dinesh, for asking. And thank you, Samir, for answering that. All right, there are no other questions. I don't see any questions in the chat box. So thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Thank you so much, Samir, for your time here. And what I'll do is to all of those who registered for the session, I'll be sending an email to them with your LinkedIn profile link, your email ID, so that they can connect back with you and they can discover more about Patent Krish, right? And going forward, if we have any more updates, we can keep them sending forward, right? So thank you so much, everyone, for your time again. And next week, we'll meet and understand more about entrepreneurship. And we have somebody joining from pharmacy background who recently became an entrepreneur and who will share his journey to entrepreneurship. So stay tuned for more information on the LinkedIn profile of mine, and I'll be sharing more information there. So any final note before we wrap up today's session, Samir?
Yeah, I would like to thank you for first of all, you're doing a great service by running this, LinkedIn and YouTube platform. I'm not an expert in either patents or, but you're making a wonderful attempt to get people who are really experts in their field, and sharing the knowledge, because that is very important, that whatever we know, and you will ask a question, that way my knowledge also gets reinforced, and it continues, because there are some very interesting questions, and so I think that way it gets reinforced, and I hope that the audience got something to know a little more about AI and patents, and how to make use of them in their professional life. And I wish your ventures the very best, and look forward to see you more and more, and wish you the very best. That's all I would like to say, and thanks again for inviting me, and all of you have a very good weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Samir, for that. None of us are experts. In fact, even though I worked in medical writing for more than 17 years now, I still learn a lot of things every single day when we, create content or work with clients or discuss with, people around medical writing. So there is always something to learn from others, right? And all these sessions that I have been doing for over 3.5 years now is just an attempt to, collate all these experts on one place, one platform. So Saturday we devote for learning, at least for 1.5 hours. Sometimes these sessions have gone to 3 hours. In one of the session, it was close to 3 hours. We learned, and a lot of questions from the participants, and there are a lot of sharing information from the expert. So this is just an attempt to collate all of that in one place and keep this learning going. And at the end of the day, we just learn from each other, right? And then this is just an effort. We'll continue doing it for till the time I'm here, at least, hopefully. And we'll also deep dive into Patent Krish advanced functionalities of Patent Krish going forward. Once you go public and launch it to the public, right? Then maybe we'll do a live demo of that as well. So if you're okay with that, of course, yeah. So with that
Yeah,
note,
absolutely.
thank you. With that note, thank you so much, everyone, for your time. But then thing is, we need to, share this with as many people as possible, who are doing this research and who want to understand more about patent. So please do connect with Samir on LinkedIn. He's active on LinkedIn. And try to understand more about research and how Patent Krish can help you, or Innokrish as a solution provider can help you out there. He comes with a lot of experience in the pharmaceutical FMCG world. And with that note, we come to the end of today's session. We'll meet again next week, same time, same channel, same host again. So thank you so much. Let's wrap up today's session, and